Hey everybody, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. Oh my goodness. Guys, I have been slacking on recording. I'm so sorry. I so badly wanted to hit, let me make sure and I say it right, 4,000 subscribers this year, and I don't know, guys. I've been doing okay with recording, but the editing and I just feel like I have like no time, and I don't know what else I can do to get time back because I already don't sleep enough, and yeah, I just don't know. So I'm sorry. I'm trying, guys, to put out videos, but it's so hard. So today is October 22nd, but by the time this video comes out for you guys, it's going to be October 23rd, which means we have a new pattern releasing. And since I haven't really sat down and recorded like any weekly vlogs, I do have one video that I recorded that I need to edit. But since I haven't recorded any weekly vlogs, and when I sit down and I start to look at dates and the fact that Sloan will be leaving in 6 days, or yeah, I guess 6. Yeah, 6, because he leaves on the 28th. I just don't foresee that I'm gonna be recording any vlogs. I foresee myself not recording much coming up pretty soon. So because of that, I wanted to just kind of give you guys an update on things that I have been doing. I have been continuing to work on my patterns, which is why I'm coming on here to say that when this video comes out, the Wednesday pattern will be released. So Miss Wednesday, I have 2 Wednesdays that I've completed. I think this was the first Wednesday, and then this was the second Wednesday. So her pattern will be up on Etsy by the time I make this video, or by the time you guys see this posted, if you guys are interested in grabbing Wednesday. I have been so incredibly lucky with the 3 pattern tests that I've done recently, where I've had a really good group of people, haven't had too many problems. I have been just super fortunate. So if you have pattern tested for me and you watch my videos, thank you guys so much. And Wednesday went super well. Right now, Enid's pattern test is being finished up. So basically what I did is I had no intention of making Enid, and so somebody had asked, and I wanted it to come out quickly so it would be somewhat close to Wednesday, because I was like, oh well, you know, people, those 2 patterns or whatever, and then thinking about Halloween or October. I mean, I know people make Wednesday and Enid stuff way past like the 31st and everything, but I was like, okay, I'd like it to fall in October. And so what I actually ended up honestly doing, I didn't even hold a testing call. I just asked the people who tested Wednesday if they would be interested in testing Enid, because I thought it would be cute, you know, knowing that a lot of people either make like gifts for people or some people do markets. It's like, oh well, it'd be kind of cute if they could have both of them for whatever they want to do. So that's honestly what I ended up doing. And then I think I needed like 1 or 2 more people, so I just ended up posting on my Instagram stories. So there was never like an official testing call for Enid. I just offered it to the people who did Wednesday. So Enid, I believe her pattern, if you were watching this, will come out on the, let me make sure before I send something, it will come out on the 27th. So Wednesday's the 23rd, aka when you guys see this video. And then Enid's gonna come out the 27th. And then on the 27th as well, I will also have a bundle coming out that will have both Wednesday and Enid, in case somebody does want to get both of them, or you can just get them separately. You know, I'll figure out, I'm trying to think, I'll figure out a price that has like a little bit knocked off if you do the bundle. Now, I'm not a huge Etsy person. I actually pulled off everything from Etsy besides my patterns, because I know that some people do enjoy buying through Etsy opposed to like my website. Like I do have my patterns on my website. They're cheaper on my website to purchase than on Etsy. But man, it is astonishing how much Etsy takes out on fees, which is why I no longer do like my safety eyes, any physical items. I will not sell them on Etsy. But yeah, it's amazing. So I feel like for a doll pattern, I have it at like a fair price, because a lot of times for the doll patterns I do, they're usually like that I've purchased in the past have been like $8 to $15. So I feel like I think I have them at like what, $6? Don't quote me on that, but I feel like I'm trying to look it up. I feel like I have it at $6, and then like I said, I'll figure out something that if you buy the bundle, it will be cheaper and whatnot. And I've actually already have, yeah, $6. I just checked because I think Etsy takes, it's like $1.50 from it per purchase. It's crazy. Etsy, between the AI and all this type of stuff, I'm like, ugh, done with Etsy. But I did actually have somebody who's already made the pattern and did the review for it, and they were so fast. But I have really enjoyed seeing the people who have made Rumi. Their little plushies are all so cute. And I know a lot of people have been looking forward to Wednesday. So Rumi, Wednesday, Enid. That is October's patterns. November is going to be, I need to be realistic. I feel like November will be 2 to 3 patterns, which would be basically what I did in October. But the November patterns, I feel like, are such a big step up from these past 3. I actually, when I do the tester call for them, which I think it will be at the end of October, beginning of November, because I still have to make a second doll for all of these to just make certain I like the shape and to get pattern photos, because I was so smart when I made Enid. Like, what I ended up doing is I went ahead as I was working her and took photos, wrote things down, just because I knew in my mind what the modifications were going to be, that Enid didn't have anything like too crazy. So I just was like, okay, this is gonna be super easy for me to figure out. I don't have to worry about it. But when I write patterns that are complex and have a lot of parts to them, I sometimes just need to like get it all down and then take photos afterwards, so I can actually make sure what I'm taking photos of is like the things that I want. So I have not made the second for any of these dolls for November. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe end of October, beginning of November. You know, it's just gonna depend on everything with Sloan, how I handle everything. But I feel like that would be pretty smart. Like, the good thing is I don't do this for like a living in regards to like people who have to make so many patterns a month. I'm not doing that. So if I can't get them done, I mean, I'll just keep them for myself. But I have a feeling people will not want me to keep the patterns coming up for myself. Like, I know quite a few people have been really interested in them, and I'll show you guys them. But what I would recommend is, especially as I have mentioned everything going on with Sloan, and then me probably having to put him down, and then there's going to be a lot of changes, and I'm just not certain how I'm going to handle some of these changes. So I probably won't be posting much on YouTube, like I said. I would recommend either following me on Instagram if you want to see updates, or what I would recommend is, if you're interested in the patterns and updates in that regard, to follow me on Patreon. I used to have a Patreon. I tried it once, hated it. Or what I should say is, I tried it once, but I wasn't seriously like designing things, and so I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore, so I stopped. And then when I started doing the dolls, I was like, okay, well, I think it would be really fun to start up my Patreon again. and have it so that way I can ask people like questions about characters, like what do you want to see, or it's just easier for me to talk. And I've mentioned this before, I started out doing blogs, so Patreon to me feels very bloggy, like I can type a lot, more photos, it's a little bit more fun for me. So I have a Patreon. It is completely free. I know I had told some people, I was like, oh, I have a Patreon, just join it. And they were like, oh, well, I don't have the money. It's completely free. It's small enough that I feel like I can talk to people a little bit more and kind of get their input. But like I said, especially with everything that is going to be going on, I don't know how active I'm going to be on YouTube. And yeah, Patreon or Instagram is going to be the best way, but I'm really not super active with posting on Instagram. I'm just active for the tester calls and everything at this moment in time. If I had like a couple more hours a day, I would be more active on social media, but it's not happening. So I'm going to show you guys so far what I have for November. But like I said, Wednesday's pattern is out now. Enid's will be out on the 27th, and then the bundle will be out for the two of them on the 27th. So I'm still working through the first run-throughs of these guys, and you'll see there's still lots of strings because I need to start sewing things and just deciding things and whatnot. So the first one I have is going to be Elphaba. So I wanted to do something a bit different with Elphaba. I don't know if you guys can tell, when I like do my dolls, don't prefer just the straight edge wig cap, which I feel like is really common with dolls. I would prefer to have, like, as you can see, hair to kind of create a little bit more texture. So when I was doing Elphaba, of course, she has a pretty straight edge for most things, and I wanted to have these strands. But so what I ended up doing is they're really long chains, as you could tell, but I connected them at the back, and then that way you can have them over her shoulder, just like that. So far I have her first hat done. Oh my gosh, I have to remember how to do this. So it's kind of in the middle, I can't tell on camera, but I have her first hat done. I might tweak a couple of things with the hat. I think I want it a little bit taller. But the hat actually has, I don't know if you guys can see, once you get to, I can't remember what round, everything is worked on the back loop. And then you go back in and you slip stitch everything. So it creates this like ribbing texture and makes it a little firmer. So for Elfie, I still need to make her cloak and her broomstick, and then she'll be done. But I have a feeling Elfie will probably be the first one that I do a tester call for, and probably be released first because her pattern is going to be a lot simpler than Glinda's. Oh my god, Glinda. Wow. Just wait till you see her. But Elphaba is probably going to be the first one released. What I'm doing for these tester calls is the other ones I did like 10 days, which felt pretty normal for me. Like when I apply to do tester calls, it's anywhere from like a week to 2 weeks. For Elphaba and Glinda, I'm going to be doing 2 weeks, which is a little bit more time than the past 3 I've done, just because these guys have way more components to them and a lot longer pieces. You know, like Elphaba's hair, I'm trying to remember, it's like 65 chains. Same thing, Glinda's got like some of her rounds are like 100 something, so and a lot of parts that need to be sewn, versus the other dolls have been pretty straightforward in regard to that. Like most of what they've needed sewn or like extra parts have just been like hair, or maybe a couple like flowers, or like they just need the ends weaved in from the dresses. These dolls are a step up from them, so I'm gonna give a little bit more time, and probably will try and find some people who have maybe a little bit more experience with dolls, because I feel like these dolls could be really intimidating to somebody if you've never done dolls. So that's Elfie. I'm gonna put her on my table because I still need to work on her. And here's the big mama. So she has a lot of pieces missing, and I just have everything literally held together with lots of pins and stitch markers. This will be Glinda. So she is a lot, y'all. Oh my gosh. There are some things that I'm actually going to modify when I make the second run through, which is why Glinda will be at the end. Like, I want to move her dress down, probably a row. That way, because there's just so much to this dress, that way her arms will just be a little bit more flatter. Right now, just because there's so much volume, they kind of stick out a little bit, so I think I'll move it. The dress is 2 parts. So this is the actual layer crocheted in, and then as you can tell, we have this body, like bottom one, that I'm just holding up with stitch markers right now. So I can kind of get the feeling of how it would look layered. When I looked at photos of Glinda, everything seemed like her bottom dress, like whether it was the Wizard of Oz or whether it was Wicked, every single photo I looked at, the bottom of the dress was like super, super pushy, like really fluffy. And then when I had looked at the Wicked dress, there was like a lot of layers and a lot of texture to it, which is why I wanted to go for this very big, ruffly look to try and mimic that. And then I had asked everyone on Patreon what they thought about the hair, because I was kind of stuck on if she should have hair that was similar to the Wizard of Oz. Like, I always knew I was gonna go blonde just because I didn't really have a good like strawberry blonde or like red that the Wizard of Oz one had, so I always knew it was gonna be blonde. And then I asked people on Patreon, and I would say most everyone voted for more of this straight hairstyle. So as you can see, I have tacked this with like literally 1,000 sewing pins, and the sewing pins don't hold things super well. And since I have had this tacked for a little bit and it's been moved around a lot, some hair strand placements have fallen apart. So she will look not so crazy. And then as well, I have not done her eyebrows yet. I typically wait until I've sewn the hairpiece, which I have sewn the cap on, but I typically wait to add eyebrows until I put the hair on, just so I can see like where I need to start and how much of it's going to be shown after I have done the hair. And then Glinda has her crown, which I need to put a specification in the pattern that you need to use acrylic yarn and you need to use a small hook. I usually do 4.5 on my plushies. Most of my plushies are either 4.5, and if I'm using a thicker yarn like Sweet Snuggles Light or something, I'll use a 5. But I need to also say that like acrylic or cotton, and then I used a 4, but honestly I feel like a 3.5 would be even better, just because when I had originally made the crown I had used a 4.5 in the same yarn, and it really needs tension and it really needs tight stitches for the crown to stay upright and to hold its shape, because there's not really a lot of structure to it. Like, I don't know if you can see, there's not a lot of structure besides the bottom. Most of this is just a lot of chaining and skipping stitches and doing middle stitches. So I wanted to make certain that I used a tighter stitch, so I think I'm gonna have to specify that and have it in the tester call that you have to make it with a thin yarn and a tight hook and tight tension, because I feel like that's gonna be a piece that will not look good if it's not, like if it was done in plush it would not look good, and if it was done in like a really big hook size it wouldn't look good, because I've done that. Now I do know, like I said, Glinda will probably be later on, because her second doll is going to be a lot more work for me to make, and then as well she probably has like more things I want to tweak compared to Elfie, and then she also has more things that like as I look at her and I look at the pattern and I look at the crown and I look at the hair placement and I look at the dresses, because like I said, this is all one separate piece. I have a feeling there's a lot more things that I probably will need to videotape and record to add to the pattern. So if you guys don't know, all of my patterns come with a video tutorial on how to face shape. They also come with a like diagram on how to face shape if you don't want to watch a video. They also come with a thing for the facial embroidery. Rumi has feet embroidery, so her pattern comes with that. And then I just recently recorded a video on how to join the legs and everything for all these patterns. So they have videos plus photos. I tried to make it as easy as I could and like tried to cover my bases. And so as I look at Glinda and I look at how intimidating she is, I have a very strong feeling that I'm gonna have to record a lot for this pattern. So it's definitely not gonna be the first one that releases. It could be like at the end of November. I've got no clue, because I do want to make a third pattern to go with this grouping, which would be Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And Dorothy, I feel like, will be a lot more straightforward. If I don't do the gingham, I'm a little tempted to do this gingham. But the only thing about the gingham that I'm a little worried about is just the effort. And if people are going to want to put the effort in to have to color change so much, because you really would be having to like color change after like almost every probably 2 stitches. And so yeah, I'm trying to decide. If you guys are watching this video, let me know what you think. If it should be a gingham or if it should be just a solid color blue. Because I feel like most people wouldn't do the gingham. That's my thought. Like, I feel like most people, if you were market prepping, I feel like you probably wouldn't do gingham, because that's gonna add hours. I feel like if you were making it as a gift or like something special that you really wanted to make, yeah, you'd probably be okay spending the extra time, but I'd love to hear your thoughts if you guys have any. So that's what's up in the studio. If you guys are interested in seeing the finished Glinda and finished Elfie, and then of course as I start Dorothy and then some more patterns, I just posted today on Patreon to see if there were some other patterns that people were interested in. I might be able to get a Christmas pattern out, which would be the Cindy Lou or something from the Grinch. I've been posting on Patreon about that, asking people's opinions. And then I also have been so considering doing another musical pattern. Ugh. I was shooketh to find that there is no Phantom of the Opera patterns. And I grew up singing Phantom of the Opera. I used to do like the actual Phantom of the Opera song, Think of Me, Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, all that type stuff. There was a day when I used to be able to hit that high E in Phantom of the Opera. And man, I just remember everywhere I went, if I sang, like every lesson, every anything, I always sang Phantom of the Opera, because that high E hit different. Nowadays, I don't sing enough to be able to hit high E, but I was really shocked by the lack of, like, where was the pattern? Now, the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is I'd have to test this out, is if this pattern would translate super well into a male body. Like, I might tweak it a little bit, because if you've not done this pattern before, there is like things to really form a hip. So I feel like if I did a male body, I would maybe adjust the midsection a little bit. I don't know. I'd have to test that out. But I guess let me know if you guys would maybe be interested in a Phantom Opera, or better yet, just go to my Patreon, because I'm gonna be asking a lot. I know that like November I need to slow down and stop pattern designing, because I also have customs that I need to start doing for Christmas. But honestly, I haven't overbooked myself for Christmas this year. This might be the most calm I've had. And mainly I'm just thinking about like, I don't know where I'm gonna be. November is a really bad month for me. So November's my birthday. But at the same time, a couple years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, I had to put down my other horse, Bear, right before my birthday, the 12th. And so many bad things happened that month. It was like I put down my horse and my birthday's the 15th. And I put down my horse on the 12th. And then like literally 2 days after I had put him down, all of my clients left me. So November just has really bad for me. And then now I'm looking at probably when Sloan will have to be put down will be November. So yeah, November's just really not a good month for me, even though it's my birthday. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can get through November, I'm happy every year. But, so I'm trying to be realistic, and then of course, I've mentioned this, Knotty Pony will be having a Black Friday sale. I'm really not certain, like I haven't really sat down and like calculated things. I do know that like any of the second chance yarn that I accumulate will go to like, I'll adjust it and re-upload all of those for that. I think if you were to go on Knotty Pony right now, I think all of the second chance yarn has sold out. But when Black Friday hits, I will re-add the stock that I have for it. And then as well, there will be a discount probably for just Knotty Pony in general. And then there'll probably be another goodie, like maybe after you spend so much, maybe I throw in something. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But like I can't discount the second chance yarn anymore, but like the normal yarn will have a discount. But like the second chance yarn, if I end up doing like after you spend XYZ, you get this, then the second chance will count towards that as well. But I think that's the update I have for you guys. Don't know when I will see you next. I would probably say if I see you soon, that's a pre-recorded video. But I hope you guys have a good day. And if you're having any markets, I hope it goes well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!